going to start from number 27. We're going to start from number 27. Okay. I'm just waiting for Esser. He took a permission to go somewhere. Esser, if you returned, please write the answer for number one. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, yes, if you can't hear me or if you return. Okay. All of you until Esser answered actually answered the question correctly. Let me just give you a guidance until Esser comes. As you can find here, this question is the words in context. This question is words in context. How we solve words in context? Number one, we must find the connotation for each word. Don't forget that, please, because this will guide you and help you in short time to solve the question, especially for the hard question of the vocab. Then after you find the connotation for each word, if you find three positive and one negative, so like that, you're gonna think immediately that maybe the answer is gonna be the odd one out, the one that is different. And we know this rule, the one that is different. After that, you have, if you even use the odd one out, you have to go to the context clue to be sure about your answer. But if you have one of the choices that is neutral, go directly to the context clue. Let's remember the context clue together. The context clue are definition, synonym, antonym, cause and effect, exemplification, experience. There is another two, but I forgot them. Okay? So all of these things. When you find colon, what come after the colon, explanation for what come before, or example before, such as also examples to take care also of the boundaries and punctuation. Asir, you returned. Asir didn't return. So we're gonna find the question together. The answer for this question. Your answers are right. So here, reciprocate means return. Reciprocate, return, and it's a neutral. Abandon, negative, to leave something. Annotate, like what I'm doing right now when I'm writing explanation, I'm measured. Equalize, positive, to make it equal. So here we have neutral, so we have to go to the context clue. He said whether the reign of a French monarch such as Francis II or Louis XI was historically consequential or relatively uneventful. Uneventful, consequential, or relatively uneventful. Its trajectory was shaped by question of legitimacy and therefore cannot be understood without a corollary understanding of the characteristic without which the monarch would have been forced toward the throne. Can we say he actually here he said relatively uneventful without an event? So that means he was kidnapped, he was kicked out. So abandon the throne. Abandon the throne. Your answers were right. Let's go to number two, please. Write the answer in the chat box. Answer if you return sold number two. Number two also works in context. I'm waiting still for Nardine Rahaf. Okay. Okay, لا. Nardine Rahaf and answer if he return. Okay. Okay. All of you also got this answer right. Let's find together. يا عم اللي بتلعب في الموبايل. Okay. Remembered. It's neutral. Avoided. Again, neutral because you can avoid something nice or something bad. Achieved. Positive. Required. It can be neutral or positive. But again, whenever we have neutral, we have to go to the context clue. Somebody is going to tell me A, B, and D can be neutral. So we can use the odd one out, and the answer is going to be C, and the answer is C. No. When we have a neutral, again, when we have a neutral, we can't use the odd one out. You have to go to the context clue. So with his widely celebrated portraits, positive, of poet Midba Mokshem, chemist Harry Kroto, and other prominent positive figures in different fields. British painter Peter Edwards has what substantial prestige as an artist. So we need something positive. It's not gonna avoid, it's not gonna remember or require, it's gonna be achieved. Achieve that kind of prestige. And all of you got it right? Let's go to number three. Number three. Okay, unfortunately, this question we have two that they got it wrong. Majd and Nardine, kindly look at the answer. Here he wants the meaning of deep. And actually, again, as we said, that we have to start Majd with what? With the connotation. With the connotation يا عم مجد. سيب الموبايلك يا مجد. طلع التكست. ما هو هنا على البورد. Uncaring negative. Uncaring negative. Intense it can be.
مستر هو أنا جاوبت 4 غلط.
I checked يعني
سمعت إن احنا
كاتباها
4 مش
في
3.
كنت كاتباها سي.
أيوة ما أنا دي كانت answer number 4 مش number 3.
يعني انت ما جاوبتيش؟
أنا كنت فاكرة إن احنا في number 4 مش في number 3. جاوبت على number 4 مش 3.
Okay, but it's wrong in Ardeen برضو because it's red in here, okay? I know that you missed, but you have to concentrate with me, please.
Okay.
Okay. So, uncaring negative, intense neutral, complicated negative, touchy positive. So I need the meaning of deep. And deep actually can be all those meaning. Whenever we have neutral, we're going to go to the context clue. He said the following text is adapted from William Wordsworth's 1798 poem. Lines written a few miles above Tintern Abbey. Once again, do I behold these steep and lofty cliffs? Lofty cliffs means high. Which on the wild, secluded means to be alone. Seen impress thoughts of more deep seclusion. He talk about loneliness. Loneliness. Can we describe, according to that loneliness is caring, uncaring? Loneliness is complicated. Loneliness is touchy. Let's find. And connect the landscape with the quiet of the sky. So here he connect the landscape with the quiet of the sky. So the kind of loneliness is intense, deep, intense. Clear يا مجد؟ ناردين clear?
Okay.
Okay, number 4. Write the answer still in words in context. I'm waiting for the answer of Ali Swalem for number 4. Number 4 يا علي. Again, as a reminder, no question take more than 1 minute 1 minute 20 seconds. Ali Swalem. Okay, Unfortunately, we have two that they got this question also wrong. مجد and آسر. مجد and آسر. عشان الموبايل يا عم مجد. Number 4. Again, we have to look at the connotation. Self-contradictory, to be against yourself. Negative, unavoidable, neutral, irresolvable, cannot be resolved, cannot be answered, negative, imperative, neutral. Whenever we have neutral, go to the context clue. He said here that La Passage cave paintings of animal figures and abstract patterns found in what is now Spain and dating from 12,000 to 20,000 years ago are thought of as art today. But the question, Asir, Majd, of whether the people of the time understood the painting as something akin to art in our modern sense or in some other way entirely is, then he brought here what? Colon. What come after the colon? Explanation or example for the word. He said, we will never be able to answer it. We cannot answer it. Unanswered. Irresolvable. Clear يا مجد? Clear Asir?
Clear.
Okay. Take care, please, of the key words. Take care, please, of the context clue. Number 5 right now, we move to another skill. Main purpose. Write the answer, please. I'm still waiting for Asir, Ali Swalam, and Rahaf. I'm sorry, Rahaf wrote it before. Unfortunately, we have only one that got this wrong. Ali Swalam, concentrate with me and all of you also. Here is the main purpose. And we said in the main purpose, we have to read the first sentence and last sentence. The first sentence and last sentence. Here he said, devoted Mihisu is a novelist and a citizen of the Chukatu Nation of Oklahoma. So he is a native Indian or American Indian or the Red Indian. The last sentence, take care. Here he said, or he talked about one that is a novelist and a citizen. In the 2016 novel, The Antelope Woman, Lois Endrich, this is another one, successfully blended the oral storytelling tradition of her people, the Ujawa, so also native one, with the fancy fiction. So now we are talking about two characters. One from Shukatu and the other one from Ijawa. Let's find. The first one, to urge younger, indigenous means native. So I'm indigenous Egyptian. Majd is indigenous Syrian. Indigenous authors to avoid writing in popular genre. We didn't talk about popular genre here. Only said fancy fiction, and here it doesn't mention anything. So no kind of genre was mentioned. The only genre that was mentioned is fancy fiction. B. To explain why indigenous author has achieved more success than another has. Yes, we have to. But we didn't talk about the level of success. So it's wrong. Despite that I put here a kind of right because we have to. We have to. But someone is going to say that he didn't talk about or compare between the success between each other. To urge that traditional indigenous stories are more memorable than more novels are. He didn't compare those novels to others. To discuss two writers who blend traditional indigenous stories with popular genre. Yes. Yes. He took here about one writer and here another. So I just suspect that BB may be the answer. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to read the whole text. Don't return to A or C. They are cancelled already. We're going to go to B and D. So Devoted Masu is a novelist and a citizen of the Chukatu Nation of Oklahoma. Critics and fellow writers have praised her work for combining traditional Chukatu stories with popular genre of literature. Okay, popular genres are here, Dr. Tamer. So what about if we're gonna go to A? No. Whatever you cancel from the beginning, when you read the first sentence and last sentence, don't return back to them. Okay, of literature such as mystery fiction. But Miyazu is not the only indigenous writer to blend traditional stories with popular literature. In the 2016 novel, The Antelope Woman, Lewis Hendricks successfully blended the oral storytelling tradition of her people, the Oju, with fancy fiction. So, does we talk about success? No. We are talking about two writers that they blend traditional indigenous stories with popular genre. Clear يا علي سويلم؟
كلير.
ركز معايا علي هنا بالله. Number 6 and its cross-text connection. يلا go on. Find the answer for the cross-text connection. شايفها ولا ايه؟ طيب. I'm still waiting for Nardine and Ala. Okay. MashaAllah, all of you got it right. Cross-text connection here. We have to find what is the goal here. Does he need similarities or differences, or how one text to reply to another? Here he told us how the author of text 2 reply or respond to the first sentence of text 1. So let's read text 2 first, then respond to text 1, the underlined part, so he make it for us easy. Here he said Baguri is a genre of music. It's a kind of music, like pop music. originally from Brazil that shared some harmonic and rhythmic similarities with the Foro genre. So, Bagudi look like Foro genre. They have the same harmonic and rhythmic similarities. Automated genre classification system typically struggle to draw distinction in situation like this. The problem that the automated genre, do you know the people that they are singing right now like Hamobika and they start making sound with the computer? So the automated genre, they have problem. They have problem to classify or to find the differences between any two musical genre like this. But Yandri, there is one who's gonna solve ya Majd the problem. Yandri Costa and colleagues solve the problem by converting sound to images. They convert the sound to images and having computer compare feature of those images and approach that demonstrate how much innovation is possible in this field. So I'm gonna make it as a summary. Now we have two genres that they look like each other. They have similarities in the harmonic and rhythmic. The problem that the automated genre cannot differentiate between two music genre. But there, someone that solved the problem by changing the sound into pictures or into photos, or into images. Okay, let's find how it's gonna apply it to up. Attempts to automate classification of music into genre have not been very successful. No, it's successful. Here, this one, Yandri, helped in solving this problem. And we may be at the limit of what is technologically possible. No, we help in solving this problem. So here, by arguing, text two, by arguing that people tend to disagree when identifying genre classification for music, this is out of topic. We didn't talk about the people. By asserting that may be possible to improve automated classification system, yes, it's gonna say Yandri, solve the problem. By criticizing previous research into automated music genre classification for favoring specific genre categories, we didn't talk about favoring anything. And we didn't criticize the previous research. By suggesting that the concept of genre may become more useful for music listener, we didn't talk about the music listener, so the answer is B, as all of you mentioned. Let's go to question number 7. And it's a detailed question. Detailed question. Again, all of you got it right. Number 7. Let's see together. One of the clue for the detailed question, because the detailed question actually is one of the sub-scale for main idea and details that we find it in domain 1. So how we know that this is a detailed question? We're going to find that it's a reading comprehension question and doesn't have any clue except based on the text. So here he said based on the text. What does the narrator mainly remember about the times when his mother chanted to him? So again, here I want to answer a reading comprehension question. ده واحد من الأسئلة الدايركت يا شباب. One of the direct question that you have to read the whole text to find the answer for. Here he said, what the narrator remembers about the times when his mother sang for him or when his mother chanted to him. Let's read together to find what he remembers. يا عم مجد. It said the following text is adapted from Adib Khurram's 2018 novel, Darius the Great is Not Okay. Darius, a teenager from the United States, is visiting his family members in Iran. I dozed, I slept, and floated on the clouds of Farsi that blew my way from the front seat of Daya, Uncle Jamashid's SUV. SUV is a kind of car. It reminded me of when I was little and mom chanted to me, sang to me in Farsi every night before bedtime. It's hard to describe Farsi chanting. Then explanation. The way mom drew her voice out like the notes of a cello. It's a kind of music tool. As she recited poems by Rumi or Hafiz. I didn't know what they meant, but that didn't matter. It was quiet. He talked about the chanting of his mother. It was quiet and soothing. Soothing means what? Calming. So let's look at A. That he liked the character in stories his mother made up while chanting. He didn't talk about any characters. That his mother didn't chant very often. He didn't talk about actually that she didn't chant because we are talking about her chanting. That he found the sound of his mother chanting to be calming. Yes, he said quiet and soothing. That his mother had music playing in the background while she chanted. He didn't say that she has music. He said only that her chanting looked like a cello. So the answer is C, as all of you said. Let's go to number 8. Number 8 is main idea. Looked like the main purpose. Magd, if you want to drink juice, drink. I'm waiting for the answer from Aser and Nardine for number 8, the main idea. Waiting for Aser. Okay, unfortunately, we have only one that got it wrong. Nardine, just think with me, please, and pay attention. We said that the main idea, we have to look at the first sentence and last sentence, ya Nardin. He said here toads and cats can see the three-dimension 3D, which help them perceive distance and depth. Now we agree that toads and cats can see in 3 dimensions. The last sentence. Cuttlefish change their striking position to match the 3D images, suggesting that their vision is more like that of toads and cats than that of octopuses or squid. So that means the cuttlefish, like toads and cats, they can see in 3 dimensions, not like octopuses or squid. Let's find A. Cuttlefish are surprisingly similar in structure to octopus and squid. They are not similar at first in vision, but we didn't talk about the structure. We didn't talk about the structure at all in the first and the last. B. Contrary to what many researchers had assumed, cuttlefish may be able to see in 3D. Yes, they said cuttlefish can see like toads and cats. And toads and cats here can see in 3D. So it can be. Researchers have long known that toads and cats can see in 3D. Yes, he said toads and cats can see in 3D. The ability to see in 3D allows many animals to interact with one another. We didn't talk about interaction. We didn't talk about interaction. So the answer now between B and C, what we're going to do now, Ya Nardim, read the whole text, but don't return to A or D. So he said toads and cats can see in 3D dimension, which help them perceive distance and depth. Octopuses and squid are thought to lack 3D. They lack. They don't have vision. Many researchers once thought the same about cuttlefish. They thought before that cuttlefish look like that. But Trevor Wardle and his team wanted to test whether this assumption was true, that they are look like octopus and squid, they lack 3D. The team studied how cuttlefish wearing 3D glasses reacted to 3D images of shrimp, a favorite prey, projected on a tank wall. Cuttlefish change their striking position to match the 3D images, suggesting that their vision is more like that of toads and cats, so 3D, than of the octopus or squid. So, contrary to what many researchers had assumed, yes, because they thought they would look like octopuses and squid. Cuttlefish may be able to see in 3D, yes. Researchers have long known that toads and cats can see in 3D. This is not the main topic. This is not the main topic. The main topic here about cuttlefish. So the answer is B. Clear, Nardine?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Number 9. You see. Okay, unfortunately this question علي سويلم got it wrong. ركز معايا يا علي سويلم، السؤال سهل يا علي سويلم خالص. Here it's quantitative evidence. He want to complete the statement يا علي. So we're going to look at the last sentence. If we have keywords, we're going to look on the whole text. Here he said, where's the last sentence? ده هي كلها سنتنس واحده يا علي. يعني
انا
هي.
وربنا قصدي سي.
يا راجل.
والله.
طيب. هي كلها سنتنس واحده، لا انا اللي غلطان. انا اللي غلطان في كتاب الدي، المفروض هنا دي فول ستوب. Among the corals in the table. Okay, he took about the corals in the table. The species with the greatest range. يا عم أعلى range. Between minimum and maximum depth. The greatest range. 70. Thank you. What this? Solimia lacera. So the answer is C. أسهل حاجة يا علي، يعني سؤال هايف. Number 10. Okay, all of you got this question right. Number 10. Let's find together. As we said before, whenever we find quotation, this is a literary evidence question. Quotation, literary evidence question. So what we're going to do, what he wants here, to illustrate the claim. Can we find claim here? No, we can't find claim. So what we're going to do, forget about the introduction. If it's an introduction. If it's an introduction. Yes, here it's an introduction. So let's read after and find something look like. He said in the novel, a group of soldiers traveled through a canyon where their collective mood becomes strongly affected by the strenuous condition of their journey. So their mood start to be affected by the journey. So the sun beating down upon the soldiers dulled their minds and bodies, and presently they were silent. Yes, they affect their mood. All day long the soldier rode through the canyon, up and down the steep round hills, dirty and bold as a man's head, hill after hill in endless succession. Nothing here talk about the moon. The moon. Jotspillia rose in the distance, white, bathed in sunlight, shining in the midst of thick forest. At the foot of a proud, lofty mountain, nothing talk about the moon again. Like the bony shoulders of immense sleeping monsters, the chain of mountains rose in distance. They didn't talk about the soldiers and about their mood. So the answer is A, as you mentioned. Let's go to question number 11. Number 11. بص عليه من الموبايل بقى يا مجد عشان سؤال كبير. I'm waiting for Nardine for number 11. Okay. Unfortunately, 2 got number 11 wrong. Majd and Ala. Let's look at number 11. It's level 3. Yeah, Majd. Again, he said wedge quotation, so it's literary evidence from an interview with a costume designer would most effectively support the student's claim. So we need to search for the verb claim. Can we find the verb claim here? No. Okay, we have another clue, students. Where the students start talking here. So did the claim. Did the claim. He said what here? A student argued that costume designers for modern production of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream set in ancient Greece sometimes include such elements unintentionally. طب what are the elements that they include unintentionally؟ يعني بدون نية. What are the elements? So because of that, I have to read from up to know what are the elements that those designers include unintentionally. The 2013 production of A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder was the first Broadway show for which Linda Cho was credited as a costume designer. Cho was among the Broadway costume designers interviewed by Sarah Jablin Roberts and Ulrita A. Sanders for their study of historical accuracy in costume design for shows with a historical setting. They found that even designers who value historical accuracy, they want to be accurate in designing when they are designing the costume of the people and nowadays that related to the old era will often include contemporary design elements that don't fit with the historical period. So they made a mistake when they are designing for historical period that they made a kind of blending of contemporary design. نحط حاجة بقى في الوقت الحديث. In a research paper about theoretical costume design. So now I want to support that those designers, they include such elements. What elements? The contemporary design. Unintentionally. Let's look at A. Costumes must always reflect the correct historical period. Okay, too often. I've seen costumes that borrow from a wide span of periods, resulting in a production with a confusing visual style. I need something to talk about contemporary design. Here he said about the past again. No. Look at B. I aim to create a clear sense of the character and the world they inhabit. I'm not talking about character and the word. I'm talking about the costume. Sometimes this means adhering to the historical period style, but frequently, as in stagings of A Midsummer Night's Dream, some flexibility is required to communicate an idea to the audience. Again, he didn't talk anything about costume. He talked about the character and the word. Didn't talk about the costume, so thank you. In the 1980s, I was costuming. Costumed right now. For a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Even though I focused on using the correct materials, she focused in using the correct materials and techniques for the play period in history. When I look back, I can clearly see the influence of 1980 fashion in my design. Because she is in 1980. She is in 1980. And she found unintentionally after the casting that she did something, that there is effect of 1980 fashion in her design. So this may be the right answer because she confessed that unintentionally after the casting. She found out that D. I tend to pay careful attention to a character's accessories like gloves, hats, and jackets. These elements help communicate information about how this person would have fit into society at that time. Okay, she doesn't talk about that she implements such elements unintentionally. So the answer is C. Clear, Majd? Clear, Ala?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Let's go to number 12. Inference question. Depends on the repetition of the information. I'm sorry. Number 12. You got all of you right. Here we're talking about the most logically complete. Did the inference. And we said in the inference, you have to read the whole text and find the thing that is repeated. So here he said, in order to identify research trends, Shirley and Williams et al. Reviewed a collection of studies of the social media website, Twitter, such as the 2010 paper by Barbosa and Fink titled Robust Sentiment Detection on Twitter from Biased and Noisy Data. Williams' team searched for the term Twitter on the Sockbus and Web of Science databases and found that though most papers returned by the search did in fact focus on the social media platform, so when she started search for the word Twitter, she said that it's only the social media platform. A few discussed unrelated subjects such as sounds made by tractor engines. Few. Take care of that. Few only. That they said that Twitter is the sound made by tractor engine. One reasonable explanation for this result is that it occurred because why most of the people said that Twitter is a social media platform and few only said that it's related to the tractor engine. Most of the paper in Sockbus and Web of Science databases don't discuss automotive engine or social media website. No, they discuss the social media because we bring Twitter from them. Academics who are active on social network are likely to announce their recent publication on Twitter. We didn't talk about that. We're talking about from where the Twitter come. A group of researchers have an extensive discussion on Twitter about the design of tractor engine. It's out of topic. The word Twitter may not always refer to a social media website. Yes, because it refers also to tractor engine, but to other subjects such as noises made by the machine that ride. So the answer is D. I'm gonna stop here for that part. And next time Wednesday you have to solve. انت ما بعتليش الانسر بتاع الوان بريب. في هوم ورك عندك ما بعتليش.
السبت صح؟
ايوه بتاع السبت.
لا بنسلم السبت. السبت
طب ببص على الديدلاين. احنا we have practice 7 module 2 hard and we have this test you're gonna solve from number 13 till 23 and you have to send me the answer. And thank you. See you inshallah on Wednesday. Goodbye.
مستر بعت الواجب. بريبي بيبر.
ايوه